194 countries and put bases in 194 countries since the formation of the United Nations in order to keep people safe. It's ludicrous, folks. It's absolutely ludicrous that people believe this, you know.
In fact, most of the organizations that the United Nations is responsible for creating sort of little Frankenstein children of the United Nations. Another one would be Codex Alimentarius, which is the food code. Maybe we can have you address that momentarily.
Yeah, Codex Alimentarius is absolutely insidious. It was supposed to come in at the end of 2009, but they haven't managed to get it through everywhere yet because of the public outcry about it. A lot of people have been speaking out about it. Codex Alimentarius was the brainchild of a man called Fritz de Meer. Fritz de Meer was the head of IG Farben during World War II. Fritz de Meer supplied the gas for the gas chambers. He was trying to exterminate mass amounts of people. And when he got locked up in Nuremberg, he sat in jail for a few years and he went, I've got it. Control food. If we control food, we control everybody. And he got out of jail and he went to the United Nations and he said, boy, have I got an idea for you guys. And the United Nations just lapped it up. So it's all about the control of food. It's about controlling the flow of food. It's about controlling the aspects of food, controlling the nutrients in food. If you can feed nations, you can give them all this food aid, but if the food contains no nutrients, well, you know, look, we tried to save these people, but they all died from diseases. Nothing to do with us. Look, we were giving them all this food, but it was the food that contained all the diseases. It's a perfect way to control the population. I mean, you really have to admire these people, really. These are terribly evil plans, but my God, they're clever about it. They really are. You've got to admire their tenacity, and you've got to admire their patience. I mean, this Codex plan was put in place in like 1961, and the plan was to have it fully introduced by the end of 2009. So this is a very long-term thing. This is like over 50 years or so. So you've really got to admire their tenacity, and you've got to admire their patience, although perhaps not admire them personally.
This message is brought to you by the School of International Protest. What you will have to do is disobey the event organizers and actually occupy the centre of London for as long as possible. As long as you all... Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you all leave this place at 5 p.m. and go home to your cups of tea, the government will not think you're serious. The only way to bring about mass change and an actual embarrassment to the government is to actually occupy the city centre. Bring traffic to a standstill, bring the financial district to a standstill. There's not enough police in this city for all of you here today. You have to stick around like you mean it!
While in England, I could not resist the chance to visit with Charlie Veitch of the Love Police. Charlie is an activist, filmmaker, and some might say a comedian as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a message from Her Majesty's Institute for Brainwashing and Propaganda. Remain as terrified as you can. Please look up to your nearest CCTV camera so your face may be recorded. We are all suspects in the new state, scared of terrorism. The person standing next to you could be an Al-Qaeda terrorist. If you notice any suspicious activity, like people filming or people using megaphones, report them to the authorities immediately. Welcome to Her Majesty's Open Prison London. ID cards must be worn at all times.
The ultimate goal, Megan, is to try and wake people up, because I think the victory is a mental victory. As soon as you're aware of the bullshit that's happening, and as soon as you're aware that all these institutions are illusions, and much like in a virtual reality video game, you've got end-of-level baddies, you've got bosses, you've got bad guys in the video game. We've got bad guys in our video game. And you see how it all interrelates into one big evil test for humanity, a test of freedom that we need to break through and keep constantly on guard. A lot of people ask me, they say, how can you be so brave to do what you do? You go out in the street, you interact with police, you get arrested. It's not scary. Like, when you're doing what's right, it's not scary at all, because what else are you going to do? Be a slave? Bend over and get butt-fucked by the system for not being your own self? Or stand up, say I'm a sovereign human being, my life has value, and go out there and do what you can. So I do what I can.
This is something you're not going to hear on the news. Every single one of you is the most incredible and divine creature that has ever walked the face of any planet in the entire galaxy. You are conscious human beings. You have all the secrets of the universe in your heart. You are a sovereign individual person. You are the imagination of yourself. You are free. You are perfect, and there's nothing you can't achieve if you put your mind to it. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to stop believing the governments when they're hurting you. It's time to stop obeying the big corporations as they try and turn everything that is good into a monetary unit. It's time to look in the mirror, ladies and gentlemen, and remember just how amazing you are, and the things which actually mean something. Creativity, the dynamic human spirit that refuses to submit. Brotherhood, community, all these things which are free.
Charles de Montesquieu said, "The tyranny of a prince in an oligarchy is not so dangerous to the public welfare as the apathy of a citizen in a democracy." Whether it is because of apathy, or because most people do not know what is occurring, the agenda to create a fascist New World Order proceeds faster every day. Even more shocking is that people are actually complying with this agenda to enslave and commit genocide. The police, the military, and the majority of governmental agencies on a local, national, and even international level no longer serve and protect the people they were pledged to serve. Instead, they protect the corporations and the banks who fund them. The code of law has been subverted by statutes, acts, bills, and even executive orders enacted to control and even enslave the world population. Many have been reduced to debt slaves already. The countries of Europe, for instance, find themselves subject to the European Union's directives, each year losing more and more of their individual rights to self-determination. Despite the fact that the Irish people voted no the first time on the Lisbon Treaty, the government felt it necessary to put it to a vote again, since this was not the response the EU required. Had they voted yes the first time, you can be certain there would not have been a second vote, which makes it quite clear that the EU is not prepared to accept independence of action or thought in its member states. This does not mean that we should stop saying no. What it means is that more and more people around the world need to start saying no. It is time for millions, even billions, to start saying no. No, we will not cooperate with our own enslavement. We need to say no, not just once or twice, but as often as necessary, until the draconian power structure which is perpetuating this abuse is dismantled. How many more wars of foreign aggression will American citizens allow before they en masse say no? This is a wake-up call, not just to the civilians, but most especially to the military and police. How long will you continue to follow orders which are contributing to the subjugation of the very populace you are pledged to protect? How many more incidents of violence similar to those which occurred at G20 and G8 demonstrations will it take before it dawns on the masses that they are living in a police state? How many more checkpoints, searches, wiretaps, electronic surveillance programs, video surveillance cameras, and other abuses of our civil liberties will it take before we say no more? When we say no en masse to injustice, we have great power to create positive change. History has shown this to be true in causes great and small. The methods of nonviolent noncompliance espoused and enacted by men like Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. are effective. The time for active, nonviolent noncompliance on a global scale has come. If soldiers will not fight, there is no war. For it is not the sons of the elite out there being killed for the profit of corporations. If the police do not enforce unjust laws, then there will be justice for the common man. If we all refuse to buy and consume poison products, then those who manufacture them will go out of business. If we refuse to take poison medications and vaccines, the pharmaceutical genocide will cease. If we refuse to pay unapportioned and unconstitutional taxes, then the government will be forced to stop such forms of taxation. If we refuse to use electronic money, then we cannot be cut off from the source of our income. We must say no to injustice in all forms.
I've been chasing these people, if that's the word, uncovering these people, investigating these people, and so much else besides, for 20 years. I've seen the horrors that they do, absolute horrors that they do. And I've had people explain the horrors that have been done to them, which are just unspeakable and almost unimaginable. But I have no hatred for these people at all. I have no hatred because, first of all, what hatred would do is distort my own perception, distort my own sense of reality. And on another level, it would put me in their stadium. You know, vibrationally, you know, it's like I've said many times, what you fight, you become. What you hate, you become. Because you get vibrationally pulled in. And once you get vibrationally pulled in, you get mentally, emotionally, and perceptionally pulled in. So hating these people, even fighting these people, I don't want to fight. I want to dismantle the control system so people can be free to express their true potential and infinite possibility. But I don't want to fight them. I will not fight them. And it's not that we need to fight the system. We just need to remove our energetic cement from the system.
Stop complying.
Stop complying, exactly. That's what I call the no comply dance. And that's what we need to do. And when we do that, we realize where the power is. We have to do this in some kind of unity, in some kind of mass numbers, because while one does it, and one does it here, and one does it there, they'll pick them off. Once we start doing this together, then the system can't cope. Why not? Because we are the system. Our acquiescence is the most fundamental element that holds the system together.
But our whole society, you think about it, everyone's running around trying to profit from each other. Everybody's got to collect this paper at the expense of everybody around them. That's what our whole society is structured on. So when it all crashes and the bank says, look, we've got to take all your stuff now, everyone's just going to think, oh, okay, and they're going to give it away. It's incredible, absolutely incredible how they've got everyone hijacked and hoodwinked into complying with this whole system. And that's what non-compliance is all about. The main thing of non-compliance is stop profiting from people. Start doing the right thing. Do the right thing in all that you do. Spend your life making the lives of those around you better. Because if you make the lives of those around you better, then it's going to improve your life. Now, non-compliance is not complying with the fear, not complying with this fear-based monetary system and doing the right thing in all that you do. That's basically what it's about, you know. And all the laws they put in place, all of these things, this is just paper. This is just people writing rules on paper. They put on a fancy suit and they say, put a rubber stamp on it, and then they say, you all have to go along with this. And we all go, oh, yes, sir. No, sir. 3 bags full, sir. Without ever thinking about it, what we're doing. What gives these people the power to write rules that we all have to go by? Don't we elect these people to act in our best interest? Aren't these people our employees? How come these people get to power and suddenly they're above the law? Don't they swear to serve the people of their country when they're appointed to office? How come when they get to office they stop to serve the people and they start to control the people? There's something seriously wrong with this picture, and people just need to open their eyes and see it. So that's a lot of what non-compliance is about as well.
Yeah, it's important also, you know, that we point out that those in the military and that those in the police force are you know, helping to create a police state and a state of fascism that's going to enslave them and their children as well, and not just, you know, the public that they are currently